Welcome back, everybody,
Hello.
to Well Life Wednesday podcast. I'm your host, Cristy, licensed clinical mental health supervisor, and I'm here with my amazing co host, Iris.
Yes, like she said, I'm Iris, a licensed clinical addiction specialist associate, and we're glad you're joining us today because we're diving into a topic that so many of us carry but don't always talk about, and that's breaking down generational cycles of trauma.
That's good. This is a good topic. We definitely need to talk about this. We'll explore generational trauma and what that looks like, how it impacts families, and most importantly, how we can begin the healing process that the cycles doesn't keep repeating.
So, what is generational trauma, you may ask? So, Christian, let's talk about the basics. What exactly does it mean by generational trauma?
Generational trauma is the transmission of trauma from one generation to the next. This can come from major life events like slavery, war, displacement, systematic racism, or even abuse, but also from patterns of neglect, silence, or unhealthy coping skills that become normal in families.
Wow. Yes, it doesn't always look like the obvious pain. Sometimes it's those unspoken rules like we don't talk about our feelings
Mhm.
or we just survive and don't thrive. The silent gets passed down just like genetics.
And Iris, you have talked about that a lot in our sessions with people about families, especially our culture, how we keep things silent. We don't
Yes,
talk about things.
we sweep it under the rug.
Hmm. And the body remembers. Even if a child isn't told about past trauma, the stress and the responses and coping styles of the caregivers can shape their brain, development, and even emotional health.
Exactly. Trauma becomes less through without the family that sees the world. And unless it's addressed, it can feel like an invisible chain linking one generation to the next.
Mhm. So let's talk about what it looks like in day to day life. Because a lot of listeners may not realize they're dealing with generational patterns.
Some signs include difficult trust in others, cycles of addiction, high levels of family conflict, or repeating unhealthy relationship patterns. Even financial instability can be generational when trauma has prevent families from building stability. Now, they said trust in others. We know people in this day and time have the way the world is have a hard time trusting people right
Oh
now.
yeah, there's you barely have trust in families at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, family conflict, addiction, it says, high level of addiction, and unhealthy relationship patterns. We keep finding or getting into them same relationships and it be the same pattern, the
Over
same
and over
cycle
again.
over and over again.
I had that conversation with in an individual session with a client a couple of weeks ago, helping her realize the patterns that she didn't see, but in the men that she was picking,
Hmm.
and how that stems from her childhood,
Wow.
relationship with her father.
Hmm.
So connecting those dots, addiction, addiction in itself is genetics. So if you know there's a family history of alcohol abuse, you want to make sure you're not triggered and stay away from that
Hmm.
because it's already in your bloodline.
Right, right.
So the desire for it is there. So um we can't try to, taste a little here, dab a little there because it's dangerous if it's in your bloodline because it can easily snatch you up
Right.
quickly. And now you have an addiction problem. And so this is why families need to have conversations because we need to know these things. We need to know these past issues and traumas of what's going on in our family, what
Right.
has gone on in the past and
Hmm.
carries in our bloodline. We need to have these conversations because a lot of times all you hear at the family functions, oh, that's great, crazy Uncle Bob. But what makes Uncle Bob crazy? Why do we have that one drunk in the family all the time? What did they experience? Do we not know what they went
Right.
through? These are conversations we need to have. Yes, and don't forget about emotional regulation. If you grew up in a home where anger exploded or emotions were shut down, you may find yourself either overreacting or shutting down in your adult relationships. I have seen this firsthand
Mm-hmm.
when people become um, get in conflict. I've seen both sides. People shut down and walk away. They don't want to deal with it because I don't have the capacity for it, or it's explosive. We go from 0 to 100 quickly. Those are not normal responses. Those are trauma responses.
Right.
Fight or flight mode.
Mm-hmm.
You ready to pop off, or you run for the heavens, dear life. And so those are things that people really need to take note of when they're um, having conversation and interacting with other people, because you can help somebody see those signs and they not even realize it.
And we can't ignore the physical health impact. Chronic stress from unresolved trauma has been linked to conditions like heart disease,
Mm-hmm.
diabetes, autoimmune issues. Trauma doesn't just stay in the mind, it will affect your health if not addressed.
That is true. We see a lot of times someone had an anxiety attack, and their blood pressure was high and stress. When you have all that going on, it's going to affect you physically.
Mm-hmm.
And so we have to be mindful of the situations we put ourselves in,
Yes,
about the high level of stress we put ourselves in. It goes back to self care.
yes,
It goes back to what we talked about individually in our last two episodes of how to handle not becoming burnout
mm-hmm.
or your own mental health. Those things need to be prioritized. That's why recognizing the signs is the first step.
Yes,
You
it is.
can't change a pattern you can't see.
Mm-hmm. So, how cycles are broken. So, here's the hopeful part. Just because trauma is generational, it doesn't mean healing can't be too.
That's good. Just because trauma is generational doesn't mean healing can't be too. The beautiful thing about that statement, if most people would take the healing just as serious as they take the trauma, that healing is going to be passed down. So you imagine what your family generations would be like, how successful they would be. Not, I'm not talking financially.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking mentally, emotionally, spiritually healthy and well.
Yes, yes.
What will look out like 10 years, 15 years, 50 years down the line? Your family is whole. You don't have to deal with that past stuff anymore.
Right.
I love that. Healing often starts with awareness, naming what has happened in your family, even if it's painful.
Mm-hmm.
That might mean seeking therapy, journaling, or simply talking openly with safe people.
And we should try using those tools. Like people take that like what we writing this stuff down for.
That's true.
But if you're not really ready to talk about it, that's a start. That you just write down something.
Mm-hmm. You're getting it out.
Yeah.
It's a way of getting it out of you. Like you said, even if you're not at the place where you feel safe enough to reach out to someone and talk about it,
Right.
at least I'm getting it out and I'm recognizing it. I'm identifying this is an issue for me.
Yeah.
And then when I build up the strength to tell someone or share it,
There we go.
that's a whole nother step of healing. But I agree. The first step, I think, is just recognizing it for yourself, writing down your pain,
Mm-hmm.
because holding on to it, again, it's going to affect you physically. It's already affecting you. You probably don't even know it.
Another piece is practicing new coping skills. For example, if your family copes with stress by shutting down, you might learn to cope with stress by taking deep breaths, reaching out to a support system, naming your emotions instead of burying them.
Mm-hmm.
Speak out. Say what's bothering you. People may think this is weird, but if you sometimes people you ever heard people say they holler into a pillow just to relieve stress?
Yes, yes. Or punching the pillow.
Yeah.
Yes. It works.
Yeah.
And it might not, let me say this, it might not be your thing, but at least try it. That is one thing that I used to tell my parents about their young boys who were aggressive. Give them a punching bag. Let them punch their pillow. Let them scream into their pillow, because you have to get those things out. Sometimes screaming, crying, yelling is
Mm-hmm.
necessary. Should you do it out in the middle of the street, in the parking lot, or grocery store?
Yeah.
Probably not, because people are going to say something's wrong. But in your safe place where you
Yeah.
can release that, the burden that you're carrying, the pain that you're carrying, when you scream that out and feel it,
Mm-hmm.
oh, it's such a release.
Yes.
And we take, again, like you said, people not taking some of these tools seriously, like journaling. Deep breathing is effective.
Yes, it is.
There have been times where I had to pause and breathe in and out to reset myself because I was either going to go left or right.
Mm-hmm.
It brings you back to reality, deep breathing. It gives you a sense where it's a pause moment for you to stop and think, what is the best way for me to respond in this moment and not be reactive or impulsive?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a tool a lot of people should really use more than they really do. And boundaries are huge. Breaking cycles means saying, this stops with me.
Yes.
This might look like refusing to normalize verbal abuse or choosing to raise your children with openness and emotional safety instead of silence. Let's talk about this, verbal abuse. Because a lot of times when you think of abuse, people think physical abuse.
Mm-hmm. Verbal abuse is just as detrimental as
It
physical.
is. Because you are using words to target someone. And that seeps in and lingers longer than the bruises on people's bodies.
Mm-hmm.
Those go away. Yes, they hurt, but they go away. You see them for a little bit, and then they're gone. But to hear verbal abuse day in and day out, you start to believe the things that you hear. You take on the persona and the ideals and beliefs that that person is putting on you, and you believe it for yourself.
Mm.
That's dangerous. Because now it's not you thinking for yourself, it's somebody putting those things in your head. And that's dangerous. Go ahead.
So spiritual, cultural, and community also play a role. Many people find healing through connecting with cultural traditions that were lost or suppressed, or leaning into your faith communities that support your growth rather than your silence. So you want to lean into, like they said, into your community that's going to support your growth, but not pull you down. So you want to make sure your community is a good support system, whether like it's leaning in your faith, leaning into your church, your pastor, your deacons, your mothers, whoever they may be.
It's a collaborative effort. It's going to take everybody to get you through this trauma, because you don't know what people's experiences have been. And for somebody to feel safe enough to say, this is what I experienced, they're going to need the safety net of the church,
Yes.
the pastor, their therapist, their family and friends to move past that. Because the vulnerability that you have to get to
Yes.
to be open and honest about your hurt and your trauma.
Yes. Yes. That's good.
It's, you got to have a safety net, a safe place.
Trust.
You have to have people. And if somebody is coming to you as their safety net, please make sure that you have the tools and skills to help them. If you know that you're not well and healed, or you don't have what it takes to get that person through that, please lead them to someone who can. Because
Yes.
you can do more damage than good. They don't need the bias, they don't need the judgment, because they already have that up here
Mm-hmm.
with the experience and what they have been saying to themselves for years.
Yes.
So make sure you're ushering in an environment where people can be set free and delivered.
That's good.
Healing doesn't mean cutting off your family necessarily. It means relating differently.
Mm.
Oh,
That's good.
relating differently. Sometimes you lead by modeling new behaviors,
Come on.
and that inspires change.
I like that.
Now, when you're ready to go on that journey of wellness and wholeness, the stuff that you tolerated before,
Mm-hmm.
that you listened to, that you let seep in to your mind, body, and spirit, when you start this journey, you're going to have to relate differently. Some things you're not going to be able to
Mm-hmm.
continue to um,
Connect yourself to.
connect yourself to.
Hmm.
Yeah. It's going to be some boundaries, and people are going to look at you differently. Yes, they might say, "Oh, you add the brand new." Yes, I am,
Hmm.
because it's a new day.
Yeah.
I no longer have to deal with this or tolerate it. I'm not going to.
Hmm.
I'm setting a standard. I am. It stops with me. I am breaking this cycle right now. Now, y'all can continue to carry it, but my lineage will not have that.
Hmm.
And so that's something that we have to make sure we're ready for when we get to that place where I can't go over to cousin such and such because I already know it's going to be a trigger for me.
Hmm.
And they're not at the place that I am in my healing.
And listen, and that's okay if you can't go to cousin them house,
Mm-hmm.
because, like you said, that's your trigger. And I wouldn't care what cousin and them think. It's about your personal growth
It's
and
a, it
healing.
is. It is.
So you can't take on how they feel. You got to worry about where you are.
Mm-hmm. And they'll be all right.
Mm.
And if they don't, that's for them to figure it
Figure it
out.
out. Yeah.
Well, we talking about our own healing here.
Yeah.
It's self discovery.
So let's talk about practical tools for our listeners, Cristy.
Okay.
Let's give our listeners some practical steps. If someone is listening right now and thinking, this is for me, I want to break these cycles, and what can I do?
That's good. First, get curious about your family story.
Mm.
Ask questions like, what was life like for my grandparents? What challenges did they face? Understanding context brings compassion.
Hmm.
This goes back to having conversations with your family, these icebreakers,
Hmm.
asking questions. A lot of times you don't know how your mom and daddy grew up. You don't
Hmm.
know what kind of parents your grandparents were. Your mom and dad might be how they are because their parents lacked something and didn't have, or they would dealt with their didn't deal with their generational trauma. You just say
I was going to say, I remember having a conversation with a young lady, so upset with her parents. And I pointed at her, I said, Did you ever think your parents are this way because of what they experienced with their parents?
mm-hmm,
And maybe what their parents experienced
mm-hmm,
could have been from your great grandmother or great
mm-hmm,
grandfather.
yeah,
So you're upset with a whole
a whole
lineage,
line of
line of
yeah,
people, and
yeah,
and now you're following them, but this is what they was taught.
mm-hmm,
So we have to get to the point of stop doing the blame game
mm-hmm.
and realize that it's something deeper than what we actually see face to face right here.
It's
It's
that's
some
true.
underlying things that hasn't been addressed, and
And,
most of the time is that generational
and it's
cycle.
about giving grace. I'm
Yeah,
not saying forgiveness.
there you go.
It's about giving grace. Okay, you didn't have it to give.
Hmm.
But now I'm telling you, this hurt me because you didn't have it to give. I'm not blaming you.
Hmm.
I see that it wasn't given to you, so you couldn't give it to me.
Hmm.
But this is what I need now to move forward. So if we can work together to move forward in what we both need, that's growth progress. That's breaking the chain.
Hmm.
But if I tell somebody this is what I need and they still don't want to give it, okay. Guess what? Okay, I thank you. Thank you for being honest with me. You can't give me that. I'm going to move on. I've tried. I've done my best. This isn't about me now. That's
Hmm.
your thing to bear. You have to fix that. I have to go find my peace by moving on and realizing this relationship is not going, what I needed from this relationship is not going to
Hmm.
happen. So I have to close that chapter.
Yeah, I'm glad
I
you
hope
said
that
that.
makes
Yeah, it
sense.
did.
Okay.
Second, let's start with small steps of self awareness. Notice your triggers. For example, if you explode when someone raises their voice, ask yourself, where did I learn this reaction? So
Mm-hmm.
where did this stem from?
Yeah.
What triggers this for me to blow up like this or feel this way when someone raises their voice?
Learn behavior.
Hmm.
When somebody goes from 0 to 10, that is a trauma response. Again, you can get angry. I'm not saying you can't have feelings and emotions. You can get angry, sad, be happy, joyous, all of that. But when you lash out and it affects someone else and you, that's not healthy.
Mm-hmm.
You can be mad, but we have to learn how to verbalize that emotion. I'm
Right.
mad because of.
Mm-hmm.
I feel this way because of.
Yes.
That's communication. That's how we fix something.
I see
Being
your
angry,
statements.
yeah, being angry and throwing stuff, storming out, it doesn't fix, because I don't know what, I still don't know why you was triggered.
Yeah, I just know you stormed out.
And if you yelling at me, I'm not hearing nothing you're saying because I'm on the defense already.
Mm-hmm.
We have to calm down and have grown adult conversations, even if it's painful.
Yes.
Yes, the tears are going to come. It might be choked up or you can't get it out, but you got to work through it.
Mm-hmm.
Third, build coping skills. That could be mindfulness, therapy, journaling, exercise. Anything that helps regulate your nervous system so you can respond instead of react.
Mm-hmm. That's good.
We talk to communicate and comprehend. Active listening is important. You can't be passive, you can't be passive aggressive, and you can't be aggressive. Being assertive means setting boundaries. I'm telling you what I need, what I like and don't like. Take it or leave it.
Mm-hmm.
That's a boundary.
Yeah.
If people can't respect that, you move on. We can't change people, but we teach people how to treat us.
Mm-hmm.
So guess what? You treat me bad and I told you I don't like that and you don't change it, I'm gone.
Yeah.
You can show them better. You can tell them. Go ahead. I got caught up.
And fourth, create new family
Mm-hmm.
traditions. Maybe you can start weekly with check ins where feelings are shared openly, or you commit to breaking the silence around hard topics. I think that's a good idea. The check ins are commit to breaking silence around hard topics.
And there are different tools that you can get off of Amazon. I used to have um, conversation starters in a jar, conversations for families, conversations for children, conversations for adults. It's getting to know each other. It's understanding, having conversations about values, beliefs,
Mm-hmm.
getting to really know somebody personally, intimately, instead of just surface stuff. Because a lot of times, like as an adult now, I'm learning about my mom and dad and who they were as young adults.
Mm-hmm.
At the age I'm at now, these are things I should have been asking questions or having conversations about, when we were growing up.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't, because people are caught up in their different, the different hats we have and priorities. But I think you said before, we have to prioritize family again.
Oh yeah, you have to. And we have to make it normal, like I said last week, balanced lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
Family has become a priority again because now we got so lazy. Like if I use
Yeah.
that word, that like you said, we don't have family dinners no
Mm-mm.
more. The kids go in their room, or they on the phone, or they're playing the game, or there's no connection anymore. You only meet when it's like you might be like, oh, we got dinner in here. They go grab the plate and then they're gone. So
and
it's like
and,
no
and
bonding.
holidays, that's
Yeah.
rare. But I think it got worse with COVID hours, to
Oh
be
yeah.
honest with you,
That's
because we were so divided. Families, we couldn't spend time. It
yeah.
was what, 2 to 3 years we were separated, and people have gotten comfortable with being alone and complacent and eating in their room and sitting in the living room because we were so invested what's going on TV because you didn't have any other outside connections.
Mm-hmm. That's
And so
true.
now we have to reestablish and prioritize family again. Start doing check-ins, asking what's really going. How are you really doing? How
Mm-hmm.
was your day?
Yeah.
What was hard about it? What was easy about it? If tomorrow come, you blessed to see tomorrow. What would you like to happen?
Mm-hmm.
Really having conversations about and investing in your family and yourself, because I want somebody to know me.
That's true.
Yes, healing is often about replacing what is missing with something intentional. Being intentional.
You have to be attentive. So thank you for spending this time with us, guys. If this episode, as we wrap up, I just want to say, you are not your family trauma.
Hmm.
You may carry it, but you can also choose to transform it.
That's true. You can carry
Carry
it,
it, but can choose to
but you can
transform.
choose to transform it. Everything is a decision. It's up to you if you really want to invest in yourself and your family and become well and whole.
Yeah,
And healing doesn't happen overnight.
it doesn't.
Be patient with yourself. Celebrate the small steps. Remember, you are creating a new legacy for those who come after you.
And again, I want to say thank you. And this episode spoke to you. Share it with your friends, family member.
Hmm.
You never know who may need to hear this. Hear that hope is possible.
That's it. Hope is possible.
It's possible.
Anything is possible. Make sure you subscribe to the Well Life Wednesday podcast for more conversations about mental health, wellness, and healing. And those of you who like to listen to the podcast, please check us out on Spotify, Well Life Wednesday. Remember, help, hope, and happiness, they're possible.
It's
Thank
possible.
you.